What's up? It's Matt. We are back with another restaurant expert roundup. This time I'm on the go. Literally, I'm in the back of my wife's car on the way to watch my daughter cheer in nationals. So she's like NASCAR. You're from North Carolina, Scottie, so you know NASCAR.
Yes.
I'm in a NASCAR right now, the way my wife drives. So hopefully we'll survive. We'll be okay. So today I have Chef Scottie Johnson, a man after my heart, since he's from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, home of my Tar Heels. Scottie, how are you?
I'm doing good, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So I guess tell the audience who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your background.
Okay. First of all, glad to be on your show, Matt. But I'm Scottie Johnson. A little bit about myself. Born and raised in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I went to high school there. Went to college, and then I left to join the military. And did 27 years in the Army. Retired first sergeant. And the thing that people are most overwhelmed or surprised by that I was an artillery guy in the Army. I didn't cook in the military. I was a combat soldier. So did 5 deployments: Afghanistan, Iraq, Bosnia, back and forth. So did 27 years, retired 1 October 2000 and was it 2015? I retired. 10 days later, I enrolled in culinary school at Helms College in Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
And the reason I did that, Matt, is because they got what they call a post 9/11 GI Bill. Okay, that's money that the military gives you to go to school. So I wanted to
Yeah.
use my post 9/11 to pay for schooling. So I chose to go to culinary school. I could never cook, but just always took an interest in Food Network, things like that. I said, what, let me try this out, and I did it. I loved it. Became a passion of mine. Excelled in it. President's list, dean's list, and went on to graduate. Went back to being an instructor, and I taught culinary for about a year. And then me and my wife decided to open our own private chef business. So we're here in Warner Robins, Georgia, Middle Georgia area, and Blessed and Highly Flavored Cuisine is my private chef business that we go out and provide gourmet meals in the comfort of your own home.
Well, awesome. Well, first, I appreciate your service. Thank you.
Th- Thank
Thank you
you.
for all you do there. That's a long time in the military. My brother was in the Navy for 9 years, but being overseas, that many deployments, that's you did a
Yeah.
lot for our country. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, talking about the book, a couple things that, by the way, I'll put a link later on, but you can go on Amazon, buy the book. It's a solid book. I've got a couple little things still to read. I skip around when I read because I have typically topics that appeal to me. But when I was
Okay.
reading through the book, there's a couple of things that caught my attention that I wanted to talk about from a culinary standpoint in restaurants, because we deal with a lot of restaurants with our company nationwide, and some of them are franchises, but a lot of them are independents, mom and pops. And a lot of people have that grandma's recipe of something from 20 years ago, mom's apple pie. And I looked in here. I was looking on page 100. He talked about putting twists on dishes from the family. What kind of challenges did you find, one, in taking those dishes and making them reality, but also in doing them for larger quantities than just two, three, four people?
Well, the first that I say the most difficult is and this kind of funny is getting those recipes, finding those recipes. And I said that was a challenge because we grew up, grandmother, my aunties, and mom, they had recipes, but they never had a recipe to it. It's just
Okay.
something they threw in a pot in a pan, but it was never like a measurement for it. 1 teaspoon,
Yep.
2 teaspoons. So that was a challenge getting that. But once I got those and dug into it and got recipes, and what I do is I put a twist on it. So I take old recipe, maybe an old meatloaf recipe, and my cuisine is a Southern Cajun cuisine. So I take that old recipe meatloaf and make it a Cajun. Throw some Cajun elements into it. So I kind of put a twist on it. And but making it work for my clients, so to speak, my clientele, that I had to kind of jazz it up a little bit.
Okay.
No one likes boring food. Okay,
Yep.
old recipes we grew up as kids, we look at it as kind of like I say boring food, but we were children. We didn't know no better. We ate it. So so I take it. I had to take it and make it jazz it up a little bit and give it a little more pizzazz and just that that people can enjoy it, at a different level, a different way. So the old recipes was something that kind of stuck to me when I wrote the book, because I went back to in the gardens, picking, the peas, the green beans, and things like that. I know, you probably, used to that, Matt, but we
Yep.
had a garden and we had to work
Okay.
because we had to eat, we had to pick it. So that's what look at those some old recipes and just put a twist on it, and that was back then, but now, this century, let me throw some twist in it. So that's why I did that. And
Yeah.
but the only challenge I had, like I said, was gathering those recipes up and making
Yeah.
them my own. Yeah.
I was watching, I don't know if you ever watched The Prophet before, but I was watching The Prophet with Marcus Lemonis a while back, and there was a southern restaurant down
Mhm.
there in Alabama that had some type of cupcake and cakes, and she had no recipes. And he's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "They're in my head." And he's like, "Well, lady, if I invest in your company, you get hit
Yeah.
by a car tomorrow, I got to be able to make these cupcakes."
Yeah, my
So,
wife does a from Baton Rouge, and
okay.
yeah, she she's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and so she does an outstanding gumbo recipe. And I'll tell her, because people want it, and they pay her to make it. And I said, baby, you got to write down your recipe. You got to write down the ingredients and measurements. She's like, well, I just do it from my head. I said, no, well, you can't do that. If you want to sell it, you got to have a recipe. So she learned to do that now.
So yeah, and I see that a lot, and I think that's a touch that a lot of you have the ability with your catering and how you do it, but I think a lot of places try and go with the normal of everything that they've seen in books. You having those unique recipes, family recipes, really brings people back over and over because it's only one place they can get it. That's you. That's a huge selling point.
That's true. And like I say, when you like food is I say eating is food is an experience. I try to
Yep.
treat it as an experience. So when you eat my cuisine, I want it to be an experience for you, experience, but also wanted to remind you of family, of home cooking, but home cooking with a gourmet twist to it, so to speak. And so that's what I provide, to my clients as well. So I want to make it fun and enjoyable when you sit down and eat my cuisine.
Love it. I love it. So next thing that caught my attention was on page 115, and we're live right now on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. I've been doing live video for a long time, but you talked about in here
Mhm.
on the page, you talked about the fact that you shifted to live and how it helped you message out some of your animosities or things that you might have had to get over early on doing video, because a lot of people struggle with video.
Sorry, well, how we came up with the concept matter Facebook Live was, of course, the pandemic hit. And so, we were stuck in our home, so it was pretty much like COVID cooking. You couldn't go out anywhere. You had to utilize what
Yep.
you had in your pan, your home. So that's how we first got started. And then I kept having people, well, hey chef, won't you do it live on Facebook? You're always cooking, you're always throwing pictures on social media. Won't you cook live? So that's how we got started with Facebook Live cooking. And basically we just, the thing about it, what people love is that it's genuine, it's raw, it's uncut, live cooking. So if you see a mess up, then you see a mess
Yep.
up. So that's what makes it unique. And we did it. We started it, Matt, and then all of a sudden, people now have been wanting it like every week, and so it's been a joy for us, and then also to share with others, and somehow you're in our kitchen, but you're not in our kitchen physically, but you seem like you're there because we're doing live.
Yep.
That's how Facebook Live came about, and but now we got something new,
Yeah,
Matt.
I think
We call it.
a lot of people. Okay,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. What you say? No, well, I was just saying a lot of people
We,
struggle with doing live video, and they don't like being in front of the camera. They don't like hearing themselves, and they struggle with it. But I always say that's the rawness of it, is that you get to see the mistakes and you get to see the personality of the people in it, and then you just learn as you go.
true. Like I say, I'm not a scripted person. Um, And so when I do it, I want it to
Yep.
be genuine because sometimes scripts you kind of, you know, you selected what you got to say, you know, modify. But I want to be genuine. What I say is what you hear. How I talk is how I talk. They let you know where I'm from. You know, in the country in
Yep.
Chapel Hill, North Carolina. This is what you get. This is the genuine you get from Chef Scottie. So that's why I like to do it live and raw. And but I do have some that I go back and I have my you know, PR person, other people they kind of edit it for television cooking shows, so to speak. But Facebook Live is just what you get, raw Facebook Live. And we have a new one coming out now. It's called, we did one episode, but it's called Kitchen Takeover. What I do, I select
Yep.
different people and I come in their homes and I take over their kitchen and cook a meal.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And you said you've done one episode so far?
One episode so far. The next episode will be, matter of fact, this Friday, the 16th at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. So another Kitchen Takeover episode 2 this Friday, 7 o'clock.
Okay. I'll have to find that and share that. I want to check that out. But in closing, I guess, how can people contact you? They can get the book on Amazon, obviously, and I got your website on here for your catering company. Do you cater around the region? Do you also go out of town? Do you ever do special events around the country?
I haven't been out of the country yet, but I do serve here in Middle Georgia, you know, the inner city here in Atlanta area, and I've been to, you know, Pawleys Island, different places. I do travel, but not out of the country yet. And I tend to keep it
Okay.
a small, elegant type venue, not so 100, 200 plus people, because you know, we get my food, I want you to get an elegant meal, so we keep it kind of small and intimate for people. But how you contact me is like I say, my website, SJ Cuisine, SJ for Scottie Johnson. Facebook is Blessed and Highly Flavored Cuisine. Instagram is Chef Scottie. That's Scottie with an IE. Chef Scottie J. And YouTube is Chef Scottie A. Johnson. That's my YouTube channel.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate your service. Appreciate the book. If you haven't had a chance to get the book yet, make sure you head to Amazon, check it out. It's a good read. You know, if you're in the restaurant business, there's always things you can pull from people like Scottie. And the biggest one I pulled from here is seeing him online, seeing him on Facebook, doing the Facebook Lives, is that he pivoted because of COVID, and now here it is creating momentum. And I'm sure it's got you in a lot of people's households, and people are going to do business with you in the future that didn't know you existed before COVID.
Oh, yes, sir. Most definitely. And then most interesting thing about the book before we go, Matt, is that it tells you how I became from a top soldier as a first line to a top chef. Being a matter of fact, award-winning chef, winning the Georgia Seafood Fest competition in 2019. So a lot of stuff that, you know, I achieved, and you know, I didn't think I would ever become a chef. It's something that came a whole surprise to my whole family. But it's been great. It's been fun, and I'm just excited and have that passion for it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time today. And yeah, the awards are in here. There's a lot of great pictures and awesome recipes. Make sure you check it out. Appreciate your time today, Chef Scottie, and have a great rest of your week.
You do the same. Y'all be safe on the road, Matt, and good luck with your daughter.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right.
it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.